Hey everybody, so this problem was suggested by a friend of mine, and today we are going to learn how to find an angle, which for this video is going to be this angle, angle B, with an opposite angle given, which as you see here is this angle 50 degrees, which is opposite to A. Now before we can start finding it, there are some rules we need to know. The first rule is that all the angles in a triangle, so even this triangle, any triangle you have, an isosceles, equilateral, any type of triangle, all the angles always equal 180 degrees. For example, this today it would be angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180 degrees. Okay. Now, next rule is that opposite angles, lines, let's see, you have intersecting lines, right? So let's draw this. The opposite angles, so this angle and this angle, would always be the same thing. So if this is 60 degrees, this is 60 degrees. So let's name this A, or angle 1 and 2. Angle 1 and 2 will always equal the same thing. So let's see, this is 1 and this is 2. It still equals the same thing, right? So let's just leave this one right here, so as a reminder, right? Now, okay, so now that we know that, we also need to know one more thing about, well, anything, right? So whenever you see, let's say, two lines or angles, like putting it here, right? Lines like that, as you see here, let's make this. That means that those two lines are equal, right? So, or have the same length, right? So that means this line has the same length as this line, right? Okay, so now that we know that, let's start by finding angle A in this triangle, right? So since we know that opposite angle already, the opposite angles in intersecting lines always equal the same things. So let's just draw. And we know, since this is opposite to 50 degrees, we know for sure, like 100% sure, that A would equal 50 degrees, right? So now we know that A equals 50 degrees. Let's just quickly write I guess you could say, formula of the angles and the triangles. So that would be 50 degrees plus B plus C equals 180 degrees, right? Now, if you guys watched my last video, then you also know that opposite lines are proportional to the angles, or the angles are proportional to the opposite lines. So if you have two lines, like this line and this line, that have the same amount of length, then you know that the angles B and C for this one would also equal the same thing. So you know B equals C, right? Now, since we know that they both equal the same thing, we can take 50 degrees out of the formula. So when we take 50 degrees out of the formula or equation, you also need to subtract 50 degrees or divide, or whatever you're doing with 50 degrees from it. So 180, write it out, degrees minus 50 degrees equals 130 degrees. So we know B plus C equals 130 degrees, right? So since we know that B equals C, then if we basically have two of the same numbers, you could also write it as 2C or 2B, right? So let's write that. So 2B equals 130 degrees. So we know that since 2B equals 130 degrees, well, if we divide 2B by 2, which basically leaves us with B, and that also divide that by 130 by 2, we know what that equals. So that would be, look at this, 2B over 2 equals 130 degrees over 2, right? So as you see here, we have a 2 on this side of the formula equation, 2 and the numerator and denominator. So since that is the case, right, we know that since they cancel each other out, leaving us with B. So that means that B equals whatever 130 degrees over 2 equals. So to find that, what you just do is you divide 130 degrees by 2. Degrees divided by 2 equals 65 degrees. So we know B equals, let's write it here, 65 degrees. Now that we have found what B equals, this video has come to an end. So please put in the comments below what else you would like to learn. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. Bye!